Thank you all for being here. My name is Commissioner Terry, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. The June 27th, 2024 meeting of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability is called to order. The next order of business, we'll begin calling the roll to establish a quorum. Commissioner Driver, Commissioner Gottlieb, Commissioner Minor, Commissioner Presley, Commissioner Terry, present. Commissioner Wortham. With 5 of the 6 members of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability present, we have a quorum and we can conduct the commission's business. The next line item of business is public comment. If you would like to share something related to the commission's work on public safety and accountability, you have a few options. You can speak at a public meeting. You can also submit public comment in writing by emailing your comment to Community Commission Public Comment at cityofchicago.org, or you can bring a copy of your comment to one of the commission's public meetings and give it to someone on the commission or someone on the commission staff. People who wanted to speak during public comment period tonight were asked to submit their names in writing earlier. Names were then drawn at random by a member of the commission staff. Speakers will be called in the order in which their names were drawn. If your name is called to offer public comment, we ask that you approach the microphone, line up in the order in which your name is called. If for any reason you are unable to come to the microphone, please flag a member of our staff so that a microphone can be brought to you. When it's your turn to speak, please say your name, then spell your name, then offer your comments. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. We have allotted a total of 20 minutes for public comment. So we're going to start with our virtual comments. And the first one we have on the list is Megan Merrill. Okay, so we're switching over to our in-person comments. So I'll call 3 names. And if you all can line up, remember to spell your name for the record. And then you have 2 minutes for your comments. Norma Jean, Beth Rochford, and Andy Williams Jr.
Elizabeth Rochford, ROC. I am a leader with One North Side and a member of its police accountability team. We pushed for the consent decree because we had no other options for police reform and knew that changes needed to be made. Many of our members had been victims of police misconduct, and we were compelled to take action to stop this. We always knew that the changes this decree called for would be the floor, the minimum requirement for change to the structure of policing in Chicago. This is why we worked to pass the ECPS ordinance. Once passed, I ran for and was elected to the 17th District Council and served my constituents who are asking for much more than the minimum, but real reform. I recently argued to the court against putting traffic stops into the decree. Pretextual traffic stops are a problem, but they should be addressed by us and not the system that is behind schedule in getting done what they have been tasked to correct. We give the community a voice for reform that did not exist when this decree was agreed upon. I am a nominator, and I told the court that I believe that the commissioners we nominated are dedicated to this policy change and that we have every confidence that you will act swiftly to address this when you were seated. Many district councilors have got extensive community input on this issue. I have gotten 120 signatures to support having you address this issue and believe we are the only institution who the community can trust to get this work done. We are the body tasked with protecting those most impacted by these policies, and we should be the ones taking the lead on this. We need you to hold a hearing on the traffic stop policy, interview expert witnesses, and gather input from cities and other municipalities who have implemented these reforms. Let your decisions on this be data informed and community affirmed. I urge you to keep control of this policy reform and be the voice for safe and constitutional traffic stops in the future. Please take this chance to make the change the people of Chicago want and deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Andy Williams Jr., AKA the Hood Candidate. I'm here with AWJ Ministries. That's setting the cap. I speak from lived experience. August 27, 2019, I was involved in a traffic stop, 4 undercover cops. Traffic stop lasted an hour long. Here's a lawsuit. I'm fighting it for 5 years. I think while I appreciate Joy for Impact Equity talking about the policies, but I want y'all to do more than policies. I want you to abolish pretextual stops. Because if a pretextual stop is for public safety, then why are we generating revenue from the pretextual stops? If pretextual stops are for safety, then why do we lose our lives with a pretextual stop? Somebody is saying we're doing stops for safety, but guns are drawn for trying to save my life for not wearing a seatbelt. Wait, that life is not here no more, Dexter Reed. So if we're really gonna deal with this, I would ask panel to start with 1865, when slavery was legally abolished, and recognize traffic stops are just another badge and incident of slavery that violates Section 2 of the 13th Amendment. Traffic stops are unconstitutional. Adams, an attorney, great policy work, advocacy, great. Abolish the pretextual stops, unless it deals with public safety, which involves commercial vehicles, because we're private people. That's what we're doing. We don't get stopped unless we're involved in the traffic. I'm not coming with policy. I'm coming with the people's rights. Gonna be the commission? Damn, help us travel lawfully on the road that all of our ancestors created, so we don't have another Dexter Reed. Or I was fortunate enough to make it out of my traffic stop. But we've seen what keeps happening. Abolish the pretextual stops. Thank you.
Thank you.
Test.
Is Norma Jean here? Oh, okay, thank you. So our next 3 speakers to the mic, David Boykin, Emily LaFlame, Taiwan Sims.
David Boykin, DAVID-BOYKIN, 6th District Police Council Member. I urge the new commission to immediately make police policy to end pretextual traffic stops. TPD's use of traffic stops is racially disparate, mostly stopping people of African descent and then people of Latinx origin. Studies show that pretextual traffic stops are ineffective use of police resources, as they rarely lead to an arrest or seizure of weapons or drugs. Pretextual traffic stops do, however, lead to an increased number of unnecessary encounters between everyday unarmed citizens and special militarized tactical units. And any one of these interactions can easily escalate into a vicious killing like the one that we all witnessed in the case of Dexter Reed. The commission has the power to make such police policy, just as it made a police policy in November of last year that prohibited the members of the CPD from being members of racist, white, delusional hate groups like the Oath Keepers. I support the Free to Move Coalition's 3-part policy to end racially biased pretextual traffic stops. That includes 1, ending pretextual stops outright; 2, limiting stops for specific low-level offenses like broken taillight or expired registration that don't present any road safety dangers; and 3, ending suspicionless searches during traffic stops. Thank you.
Thank you.
Test. test overhead speakers.
Emily Laflamme, Laflamme. I'm here to speak on behalf of Impact for Equity and the Freedom Move Coalition. We implore CCPSA to create a policy to end pretextual stops. As a part of a community commission with the power to implement policy, you have an essential role to turn community issues and advocacy into action and make transformative change. The independent monitor, superintendent, and attorney general are eager to include traffic stops into the consent decree, which is why the CCPSA must act now so that residents can have a voice in how policy is shaped. We appreciate commissioners unifying during the consent decree hearing around traffic stops, but we must be able to trust that the commission will speak and act on our behalf with CPD and the city. CCPSA has heard from advocates and those directly impacted for months now. It's clear that traffic stops are excessive, harmful, and ineffective. The Freedom Move Coalition has addressed CCPSA this problem. As a result, the community has concerns that the commission will not swiftly address pretextual traffic stops. But with the new permanent commission being seated, now is the time to take meaningful action. In order to show the community that you're serious about the commitment you spoke to at the consent decree hearing, you need to begin moving forward. A first step would be to schedule a July hearing about traffic stops where the community and experts can talk through the problem and potential solutions. Time is of the essence, and the Freedom Move Coalition stands eager and ready to.
Thank you.
Is of the essence. 18-year-old, June 25th, Chicago Heights. 19-year-old, June 26th, West 93rd. 2024, there's been 249 slain. 5 shot, 2 killed Rose on June 19th. 3 shot, 1 kill April 2nd. 15-year-old, March 10th. 38-year-old, June 25th. Rogers Park, woman was just found the other night. 19-year-old Rogers Park, February 26th. Public safety. But we got talking points. That's what the lady called me and said, I'm gonna share with you some talking points. But the point is, we don't have play games with the mic. You can play on the mic, but I can say it loud. Step back and say. Point is, Black Americans here in the city of Chicago have no public safety. What I'm gonna do is utilize talking points. The freedom move equity or whatever. We don't have a freedom to move because that's just a few of the names or a few of the moments that have happened here in the city of Chicago. 249 slain. Let's just guesstimate percentage of that being Black Americans. What percentage? How many Black people y'all think failed? How many Black people y'all see in the news every night? Black Americans. But we're going to utilize our breath. We're going to use it for talking points, not about the real issue of what's happening with us in the city of Chicago, right? We're going to say we need the freedom to move, but freedom to move means the freedom to live. Not just happening in cars. It's not just happening like that. But we'll say we need to stop protection. I will stop. Look, I have a valid reason. Look, what, 2020, July 22nd, I was stopped, jumped on by criminals dressed up as police. But it just didn't happen then. I was stopped when I was 17, 15, and locked away for 2 years for no reason. But I'm not here to speak about that. I want to talk about
You have
now.
to bring it to a close real quick.
I just want to talk about now.
Thank you. June Norfleet, 3rd District Counselor. Pastor Doyle. And Aaron Vogel. June Norfleet? Is June here? Declined, okay. Pastor Doyle? And then Aaron Vogel.
Good evening, for the record, Doyle, Landry, Land, as in David, RY. So this is going to be a different type of public press that you all have gotten used to because, well, you'll understand about it. So as a Marine Corps veteran, Veterans Day was November 11th. The very next day at the Walgreens at 86 in Congress, in service to senior citizen, specifically Black grandmothers feeding thing, Church. I had an altercation with an African-American pharmacy manager who was stressed her job. My question to her, who was the pharmacy manager? 3 weeks later, in terms of my December 7th release from Cook County Jail, yes, I was arrested because the officer who showed up did not understand walk. So fast forward to today, another court, because people are wondering what am I going to do as a result of the African-American female officer who disregarded my request not to engage. At the end of the day, meaning court appearance today, and all of this, people can do the research. My point in that is, I have the resources as a journalist, Marine Corps veteran, and a pastor advocate for me. What about those in the communities, especially served by the districts, who may not have the same resource? Because the close, Walgreens will be effectively dealt. There are a number of older people who are aware of the situation. And again, there was a court where I'm
So
simply
your time is
asking.
expired. We need.
Sure. Because again, from the standpoint of 3 weeks in Cook County Jail, including the Thanksgiving holiday, simply we're doing.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name's Erin Vogel, EREL. I am a counselor in 9th District. Welcome to all the new commissioners. Nice to have the ones back who are here. I want to talk today about urging you all to hold a hearing in July about pretextual traffic stop. As a counselor, one of the things that I have heard from our community is complaints about police response time, complaints about how our residents are treated by police. And what we've already heard today in comment is that lives are at stake, lives are on the line. So I urge you to take this request with urgency. In my district alone, we have just under 10% of the 9th District residents are Black. They are 5.5 times more likely to be pulled over in a pretextual traffic stop than their white counterparts. Not only is it a danger to the folks traveling throughout the 9th districts who are of color, but this trauma impacts communities as a whole. So again, I want to thank all the people who have been fighting for this. I agree with the gentleman who said to abolish pretextual traffic stops, right? These do not keep us safe. They do not keep our residents safe. But beyond that, we need to figure out ways to heal. And we do this by at least taking the first step of addressing it, right? So holding panels. And beyond that, there have been people who've been working tirelessly to bring this about to you all. So I want to thank Impact for Equity, the Freedom Move Coalition, and then everybody who has been fighting the voices, and unfortunately the voices who are no longer here because of pretextual traffic stops. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to transition to our virtual and resume in person. So the first person for virtual, Megan Merrill. Sir, we'll
Yes.
call your name when it's your turn.
Yes, thank you very much. For the record, my name is Megan Merrill, MEGAN MERRILL. On April 21st, Officer Carmen Mostek shot and killed a dog at point blank range without justification and endangering the life of the dog's owner with the bullet coming mere inches from his head. This happened in the 9th District in broad daylight in front of witnesses, including a 7th grade boy. Officer Mostek then lied to 911 and to the 9th District, responding officers to cover up her cold-blooded act of violence, and 9th District officers never bothered to interview the victim. Officer Mostek then went on a week-long campaign of harassing and intimidating community members who did nothing but support the victim through his trauma and grief. This included trashing a community memorial 3 separate times. Once she even dragged the trash can right in front of her door so we would know exactly who did it. COPA has recommended that Carmen Mostek be fired, and I urge this commission to do everything in its power to make sure that Carmen Mostek is fired, disarmed, and criminally charged as appropriate. I just want to be able to walk on my own block with my child and my dog without fear. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie Vargas, virtual. The next virtual, Frank Chapman. So the last 3 in person, we have Roosevelt Banks, Troy Gaston, and Bonnie Logan.
Hello today, everyone. 2 minutes probably would never even that I'm having FX being killed by the police, shot at 96. And when you say transparency, Snelling said transparency. So, but if they don't block my nephew off, he's alive today. If they don't have hoodies on like street people, he'd be alive today. If they don't draw their guns on my nephew, he'd be alive today. I don't understand for the life of me, how could 5 tactical officers have 41 complaints on them before my nephew was killed? Then he was assassinated. They do administrative leave for 30 days and nothing. I'm trying to, you know, because my sister, I'm seeing the pain that she is going through. She is super depressed. My niece, his sister, you know, I mean, the family, 2 minutes is not nearly enough time to understand the pain of you have officers that pull out guns, weapons drawn, don't identify as they were the police. They never said they were the police officers. And so I was trying to wait on the process because they were saying that my nephew was an athlete. He played basketball. He led his team to a national championship in 2016. Then he went to college. So he was no person that, you know, there's no objective to the report that we got the day that we seen the footage. I said, why is the narrative blank? So the next day after they showed it to the public, they had a seatbelt stop, but they didn't have that before. So, but if you seatbelt stop my nephew, that's why these stops need to stop. That's why my question is, why is it 5 tactical officers have 41 complaints on them when it should have been something after 2 or 3? Come on. I'm looking at the gentleman that was killed on Cicero and the victim was shot when you could have simply tased these people. I'm just, God, just trusting the process. Pray to God, I'm a godly person. And I just hope that they get this one right. We tired of looking at the Quan McDonald's, the Isaac gentleman and Carol Stream. They just stay prayed up, and I apologize, but I had a lot more to say, but
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Troy Gass with Black Lives Matter Global Network. The first thing I want to say is thank Father Fager for inviting the commission. We appreciate it. Thanks for the commission for coming back. Last time I spoke to you guys, I was talking about these pretextual stops. And as you see today, been a trend, urgent. And I even get emotional seeing Dexter Reed family. Yeah. Y'all got a lot of courage. I see about 3 or 4 people here, faces including myself, who stopped everything to get this commission together. On the front line, knocking doors every day. Y'all are our voice. And if you look in the city of Chicago, particularly African-American men, we voiceless. And it's mostly our mothers who's on the front line fighting for us, you know? But we trust this commission. I know I do. I know I get a lot of feedback and dialogue because there's not a quick process here, but Commissioner Terry, Driver, I don't know any of you other guys. I hope I get to know you guys, but I trust Commissioner Terry and I trust you, Driver. So I'm just asking y'all, can y'all please look in these pretextual stops? It's imperative for our lives to save. If you look at these stops, 87% of them are around African-American and brown people. And then 76% of the violent encounters are dealing with Black and brown people. We don't need a person dressed like a gang member with a gun stop somebody seatbelt. But it's common sense. So we behind y'all, and I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners and community. My name is Bonnie Logan, B as in boy, ONNIE LOGAN. I work for Equiticity, a nonprofit here in Chicago. We're one of the steering committee partners of the Free to Move Coalition. My colleague, Jose Manuel Almanza, he wanted to be here this evening. He's our Director of Advocacy and Movement Building. And he recently wrote a blog. The entirety of the blog can be found on our website. He wrote, "Traffic stops are often used as an excuse for cops to dig deeper, especially if you're Black or brown. Studies show that folks like us are way more likely to get pulled over, searched, and even treated with violence during these stops compared to white folks. And it's not just about what happens during the stop. It's about the fear and mistrust it leaves behind. And when you're scared that a simple traffic violation could turn into something way worse, it undermines your sense of safety and security in your own community." In 2023, Equiticity partnered with UIC, Lawndale Christian Legal Center, and the Center on Halsted to talk to community members in the South and West sides of Chicago, to hear their experiences getting pulled over by the Chicago Police Department. Community members were clear. They expressed frustration at the responsibility placed on residents to be aware of their rights during police stops. They called for increased accountability for officers and emphasized the need for better transparency in law enforcement procedures. We urge the commission to schedule a July hearing about traffic stops. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've reached the end of the public comment period. Thank you again to all our speakers. We value your. The next order of business is the approval of the minute. Before today's meeting, draft minutes of the commission's meeting held on May 30th, 2024 were shared with all commissioners. Are there any corrections to the draft minutes that have been circulated? If there are no corrections, is there a motion to approve the minute of the commission meeting held on May 30th?
So moved.
Is there any second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Terry and seconded by Commissioner Preston to approve the minutes of the May 30th, 2024 meeting. Is there any debate on the motion? Hearing none, we'll now move. Those in favor of adopting the motion to approve the minutes of the Commission's May 30th, 2024 meeting signify by saying aye. Are there any nays? The ayes have it and the motion carries. Minutes are. Our next order of business will be new business. Begin with the introduction of the newly appointed commission. Since September of 2022, we've had an interim commission in place. Under the ordinance creating the commission, members of the commission are supposed to be nominated by elected district council members, but the commission was created before the district council elections were held. So the city council nominated people to serve on the interim commission, and the mayor appointed commissioners for the city council nominees. Once district council members were selected, they began the process to select commissioners. The process began almost a year ago. The district council nominating committee met for the first time. The nominating committee is made up of one district council member for each of the 22 districts across the city. They held regular public meetings to develop an application and design a fair process for reviewing applications. They got a lot of input from people across the city about what qualities to look for in commission. There was an open application process, and they received 120 applications. The nominating committee interviewed 33 of the applicants and then nominated 15 people to fill the 7 seats on the commission. In April, Mayor Johnson selected 7 people to serve on the commission, and in May, the city council confirmed 6 of the 7 commissioners. Our appointments went into effect on Monday, June 24, 2024, making today the first public meeting of the commission created using the district council nominating process. Tonight, the new commissioners would like to introduce themselves. They'll each have 3 minutes.
Is it on? Okay. Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Aaron Gottlieb, and I'm a Northside resident of the 30th Ward and 25th Police District. I'm excited and honored to serve you as a CCPSA commissioner. I've dedicated my career and much of my life outside of work to issues around public safety and criminal legal reform. I'm a social worker, professor, and researcher at the University of Chicago's Crown Family School of Social Work, and I've spent 15 years studying, teaching, and researching the criminal legal system. But my experience is not just academic. As a community advocate, I served on a consent decree working group that made many recommendations around how to improve use of force policy. Moreover, as a member of the ECPS coalition, I was deeply invested working alongside other advocates across the city to get the ordinance that created this community commission and district councils passed. It is this community work that initially inspired me to apply to be a commissioner, and I plan to continue collaborating with the community to ensure that CCPSA lives up to its promise. This commission, in collaboration with other key stakeholders, can create a police department that is more accountable to the community and a city that is safer for everyone. It is important to remember the spirit of this ordinance and the injustices that led to its creation. And I know with everyone's commitment to improvement, we can make significant changes. Some of the issues that I'm personally excited to work on include consent decree compliance, low-level traffic stops and other low-level police-initiated contact, public safety resource allocation, clearance rates, and domestic violence survivors' interactions with the police. The most exciting part of the commission's work, and I would argue the most important, is the opportunity to learn from community voice on the key issues of police accountability and public safety. I'm expecting to work closely with district counselors who will provide important insights about what is happening locally in their communities. I'm committed to taking the public comments that are raised at our monthly meetings seriously and to seeking out additional forms of community input on any decisions that I have to make as a commissioner. Ultimately, I feel a deep responsibility to prioritize community voices and the issues that communities raise. I expect you to hold me accountable and to work with me productively to meet the challenges that we as the city. While I cannot promise specific outcomes, my promise to you is that I will work extremely hard, that I will keep an open mind and continue to learn, and that I will prioritize community engagement and the issues that the community wants addressed. I'm looking forward to working with you. Thank you so much.
Hello. Greetings, member of the community. My name is Abia Minor. I'm a child of God and the eldest daughter of Iranian Flournoy and the legendary late Daryl Minor Jr., whose picture is displayed somewhere around here due to St. Sabina's Purpose Over Pain program. I am from Chicago 4th Ward and 1st Police District in the Barnesville community. Fun fact, my parents actually met and fell in love in the Auburn Gresham community. So my family has a strong roots in this community specifically. I stand before you today as the youth appointee for the Community Commission for Public Safety and Police Accountability. I bring a unique perspective and a proven track record for working collaboratively to promote public safety and social justice. As a former policy and budget staffer for the Illinois Senate Democrats and current Southside organizer for the People's Lobby, I understand the nuances between public policy and grassroots perspectives. These experiences have allowed me to confidently navigate contentious discussions, effectively negotiate with various stakeholders, and write sound policy proposals. As Chief of Staff for State Senator Maddie Hunter, I coordinated key task forces centering on public health, safety, and equity. For example, I helped facilitate strategic discussions for the Missing and Murdered Women Task Force during its infancy during my tenure. My proudest moment on staff was revitalizing the 5-year dormant kidney disease and prevention and education task force, demonstrating my commitment to advancing public health in the Chicago community. My commitment to the community is also reflected in my day job, where I help organizations such as the Progressive Minds Show, the John Bruckner Youth Initiative, and Perspectives Math and Science Academy achieve their financial goals and expand their operational capacity through successful grant writing, fundraising, and nonprofit consulting. I am driven to serve on the commission because my close community and I have been impacted by gun violence, the school to prison pipeline, and the U.S. incarceration system. These experiences have informed my commitment to improving public safety for all Chicagoans and fairly articulate the youth experience. As commissioner, some of the issues I'm committed to addressing is racial disparities in Chicago's clearance rates and traffic stop, implementing proactive measures to protect domestic violence survivors, identifying alternatives to policing, and fostering a legitimate, equitable, and transparent relationship between members of the community, the district counselors, and the police. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to serve you all, and I'm open to any questions you may have about me. Thank you for your time.
Hello. Good evening. Yes. Good evening. My name is Kelly Presley. I'm so pleased and grateful to stand before you today as a newly appointed commissioner. Originally from St. Louis, I've called Chicago home for the last 23 years. For the last 5 years, I've been a resident of the West Side in East Garfield Park. Started my legal career at the Office of the Public Guardian, where I represented abused and neglected children. From there, I transitioned to DCFS, where I worked to reunite families torn apart from the system. I also spent about 7 years at the Illinois Department of Corrections. There, I both managed high-level class actions, including IDOC's most significant class action lawsuit regarding the healthcare of individuals in custody, as well as provided oversight to the Office of Affirmative Action when we conducted investigations regarding misconduct for correctional officers. I currently serve as the Associate General Counsel at Catholic Charities. One of my most recent initiatives there is creating the first DEI task force for the organization. What draws me to this commission is obviously a real concern about the public safety of the city. What makes me uniquely qualified for this commission is that I recognize firsthand the pipeline from the juvenile justice system to the adult justice system. I've seen it firsthand. I followed my clients from visiting them at the Audi home to visiting them down at Menard. I understand the implications of pretextual traffic stops and how one small thing as a youth creates a lifetime of injustice for particularly young Black men. I want to change that system. I'm committed to changing that system. I'm particularly excited to work with COPA. I have extensive experience conducting investigations for correctional officers. I think that will help serve me well in working with them. So those are certainly my priorities. However, I'd be remiss not to mention my dedication to the youth. I understand when you mention the voiceless, those are my clients. Those voiceless young Black men whose mothers were the only advocates, those are my clients. I hold those very true to my heart. It's a time in my career that I think has shaped me as an individual and a resident of Chicago, and it's one of the main reasons I joined this commission. I look so forward to working with all of you guys, to hearing your voices, and to really making some substantial changes. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sandra Wortham. In addition to Kelly, I'm the other new attorney commissioner on the commission. I am, with the exception of my time in college and law school, a lifelong Southsider. And so I'll start professionally. Obviously, I'm an attorney. I currently operate a solo law practice here in the city. I've been doing that for about 9 years. Prior to that, I served as a civilian deputy director at the Chicago Police Department, where I believe I got a lot of great experience and insight into law enforcement operations and how to be useful in that regard. And prior to that, I started my legal career at a law firm here in the city. I applied for and am honored to serve on this commission because I am deeply, deeply concerned about the state of public safety in our city. I don't believe there is anything more important for government or society than ensuring that residents can be safe, can live, can survive. And far too often in our city, every day, really, we are seeing people murdered, we are seeing people shot, we are losing our communities, and it is very, very disturbing to me, the path that we're on in that regard. And so, as disturbed as I am about the state of public safety in Chicago, I'm equally committed to being a part of the solution. As I said, I'm a lifelong Southsider. I have maintained very strong ties to my community. I volunteer with our local park district. I also volunteer with the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation. So in addition to my professional insight as it relates to this commission, I am also the sister of a murder victim who was a community member, who was a two-time Iraq War veteran, who was also a Chicago police officer. And having lived and living that experience with my parents and my family, I know that there is no greater task in this city than for us to figure out how it isn't so normal that people are murdered all of the time. And so there are different perspectives on this commission, but it is the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. And I very much look forward to committing my knowledge, my experience, my expertise, so that it isn't so normal that people in this city are murdered all the time. So that isn't something we see every day, so that we can actually live and raise our children in Chicago. And I very much feel honored to bring that voice to this. I hope to bring more of the voices I hear in my neighborhood to these meetings, because that's what I hear. I hear fear. I hear a desire to see police, to see law enforcement, to see it work in our neighborhood. And I want to see more diversity and voices in our meetings. And again, it is an honor to be here, and I look forward to the work. I'm ready for it, and look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Good evening and thank you all. Really quickly, I want to take care of some business. For the record, Commissioner Anthony Driver is present for the role. So good evening, everyone. My name is Ramel Terry. Many of you are familiar with me. I was part of the interim commission with the pleasure of serving for the past 22 months with Commissioner Driver, as well as our previous commissioners. I am a very proud Chicagoan. I'm a lifelong Chicagoan and a very, 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 very proud West Sider. West Side all day for my West Siders in the building. I am excited about this opportunity to continue the great work that this commission has already began. A lot of my emphasis will be on education and being out in community, because I believe a lot of the challenges that we're seeing as it relates to the work that we're doing is having an understanding of government, of the departments that we want to see changed, of all of the policies that are interconnected, as well as who is actually responsible for what and what authority is actually possible. I think we have to be very clear about that so that we can come up with the best solutions, not just a solution. Because what I would hate to see is that we are meeting the expectations at a low level and we're back here next year, the year after, having issues related to the same thing. So I am deeply committed, as I have been the past 22 months, to continuing this work. And a little bit about me, for those of you all who don't know, for the past 15 plus years, I've served with the Chicago West Side NAACP on a volunteer basis. That means I receive no money. So I do that work because I am passionate about my people. I am committed to my people. So the same way I have committed my life to servicing that organization, I'm bringing that same level of dedication and leadership to the work that I do here with the commission. And I would implore everyone who is in this room, when it gets daunting, when it seems long, we have to continue to fight, because that's the only way that we will get to the finish line. And we have to be very clear. All of the things that we may want to see may not be in our lifetime, but what we can do is ensure that we are progressing forward. And so that is my commitment again, is that we are seeing progress, because I cannot make commitments of something that is not possible, but I will commit to doing all that I can to come up with the best solutions, the best decisions, and also ensuring that we are transparent and being honest about what's possible. I feel like many of you can see that the previous commission was really committed to that. There's a lot of things that people did not know about various entities and organizations, and we will continue to lift the curtain, show you what's behind, even if it's not pleasing to everyone, because my expectation is not that everyone will agree with what we do, but what you will be able to say is that we put forth the work to do our best. And that is the only thing that I'm willing to commit to you all moving forward. And so I thank you all. I hope that we continue to see you all, continue to bring more people from impacted communities, because again, we all need to be at the table, because all voices need to be heard, because every single person is a part of the community. And I just thank you all again for being here, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Driver.
Hi, everybody. So I did not prepare a speech today, like I probably 80 of the folks. I am former commissioner, now permanent driver. I'm a life Southsider. I'm a Howard grad, and my day job, I get the opportunity to serve the 160,000 members of the greatest union in the world, that is SEIU Illinois. And yeah, I don't have a lot to say today. I'm very committed to justice. I think that's where I'd like to keep it. Reason I do this work is not because I enjoy it. I enjoy serving Chicago. I enjoy serving the city. I enjoy serving my. But there's a multitude. So for me, this is something very personal. I do this work out of a necessity. We're sitting in a building that has kept me safe from gun violence. Usually, when Father Mike knows I get nervous. I feel a type of way. I'll come back here for a meeting because this is a place that I know I've always. Um, so as I've always said, I've experienced some of the worst the city has, and I've also experienced some of the best. My only goal here, serving on this mission, is to make sure that the next young Black male comes with bright, talent, has every opportunity in the world to change. Doesn't have to have the same experiences. Person who's been impacted by gun violence. I've also been impacted by police violence. I'm a person who carries that lived experience. What I will leave you all here with today is that I'm committed to justice. Thank you. The next will be the nomination of all. According to the commission's bylaws, commissioners hold elections for the role of president and vice president every 2 years, or whenever there is an officer vacant. Officer elections are held during regularly scheduled commission meetings. The commission elects a president and vice president by majority vote. Both nomination and election of the position of president and vice president may occur during the first meeting of the new commission. The president and vice president terms begin as soon as they are elected, and their terms end in 2 years when their successors have been elected. We will begin with the president of the commission. Are there any nominations?
I move to nominate Commissioner Anthony Driver Jr.
I've been nominated to be president of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I accept the commission's nomination. Is there a motion to move to a vote?
I move to elect Anthony Driver to serve as president of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability.
It's been moved by Commissioner Wortham and seconded by Commissioner Gottlieb. We'll now move to a vote. Those in favor of electing myself president, please signify by saying aye. Are there any nays? The ayes have it and the motion carries. I have been elected president of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. Now we will move to nominations for the role of vice president. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate Commissioner Ramel Terry for the role of Vice President.
Commissioner Terry, do you accept the nomination?
I accept.
Are there any other nomination? Hearing none, Commissioner Ramel Terry has been nominated as vice president. There are motions to move to a vote.
I move to elect Commissioner Ramil Terry to serve as vice president for CCPSA.
It's been moved by Commissioner Minor and seconded by Commissioner Wortham to elect Commissioner Ramel Terry as vice president. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? The ayes have it and the motion carries. Commissioner Terry has been elected to serve as the vice president of the CCPSA. Thank you, everyone. The next item is the approval of a series of closed meetings. Section 2C3 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act allows the commission to meet in closed session to consider the following subject: the selection of a person to fill a public office as defined in this act, including a vacancy in a public office, when the public body is given the power to appoint under law or ordinance, or the discipline, performance, or removal of the occupant of the public office, when the public body is given the power to remove the occupant under law or ordinance. Section 2A of the Act authorizes the commission to take a vote to hold a series of closed meetings over the course of not more than 3 months from today, and only for the purposes cited under Section 2C. Over the next few months, the commission may need to meet in closed session for reasons that are allowed under the open meeting, including to discuss filling vacancies of the police. I move to hold a series of closed meetings to take place for the maximum period allowed as authorized by Section 2C3 of the Illinois Open Meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
I have moved to hold a series of closed meetings to take place for a maximum period allowable as authorized by Section 2C3 of the Open Meetings Act and has been seconded by Commissioner Gottlieb. Is there any debate on the motion? Hearing none, we'll now move to a vote. Those in favor of holding a series of closed meetings, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. Our next order of business will be reports and updates and determining how long commissioners will serve in office. The ordinance is written to help make sure that not all commissioners' terms expire at the same time. So there will always be people serving on the commission who have a few years of experience on the commission. The ordinance says that when this new commission starts, some commissioners will get 2 years and some commissioners will get 4-year terms. Starting 2 years from now, anyone who is appointed to the commission will get a 4-year term. That means that every 2 years, 3 or 4 commissioners will have their terms expire, and the nominating committee, the mayor, and the city council will go through the process of nominating, selecting, and confirming commissioners. But there will always be several commissioners who have at least 2 years of experience on the commission. The commissioners who are assigned 2-year terms tonight may be able to serve on the commission for more than 2 years. Under the ordinance, commissioners can serve for up to 12 years on the commission if they are renominated and selected and confirmed. The process tonight is just to determine when the commissioner's terms end and when they could either step off the commission or apply to be nominated again. The ordinance says that the executive director of the commission will conduct a random drawing that assigns a number 1 to 7 to each commissioner. Commissioners who are assigned numbers 1, 2, or 3 will get 2-year terms. Commissioners who are assigned numbers 4, 5, 6 will get 4-year terms. I hope nobody wants a 7-year term on this commission. Executive Director Adam Gross will initiate the drawing process and announce the result of
these baskets have names and terms. Don't put money in them. Basket has terms for the new commission. This basket has names of the commissioners, and I'm going to ask for your help in selecting the commissioners in that term. So process.
Commissioner set 4 year.
Okay, so this is for a 4-year term. A name?
Kelly Presley.
Commissioner 3, 2 years.
For a 2-year term.
Yeah.
So the commission has 7 people. 6 have been confirmed by the city council so far. 1 more commissioner still needs to be confirmed by the city council. So when that person is confirmed, they will your term. Got it. This is also for a 2-year term.
Aaron got.
Two years term.
What, right one?
Javier Minor.
You wasn't the right one.
Year 5, 3 years.
Bye.
Ramel Care.
4 years. Oh, God.
Commissioner 6, 4 years.
Anthony Driver.
Anybody else?
For a year.
Thank you all for your help. Congratulations to all commissioners.
Um, so Commissioner Sandra Wortham, 4 years, Commissioner Ramel Terry, 4 years, Commissioner Kelly Presley, 4 years, Commissioner Anthony Driver Jr., 4 years, Commissioner IBR Minor, 2 years, Commissioner Aaron Gottlieb, 2 years, Commissioner TBD, 2 years. The next order of business is miscellaneous business, which I don't know what you're saying, sir, but I can't hear you. This, the next order of business is miscellaneous business. To connect with the commission via social media, you can find us at facebook.com/Chicago CCPSA or search Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability on Instagram and Twitter or X at CCPSA_Chicago and YouTube at Chicago CCPSA. The commission's next regular scheduled meeting will be on Thursday, July 25th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Yep. At Malcolm X College. Is there any further business for the commission? Hearing none, this concludes the first permanent meeting of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope to see you on July 25th at Malcolm X College. With there being no further business before the commission, meeting is now adjourned.